Good Monday, everyone. Welcome to your week of drafting and streaming here on Going Optimal. We're going to jump into a Core Set 2021 traditional draft today. That is best of 3. We considered playing the turbo thing that's available. Had some people on YouTube even this weekend say they had wished I had posted a turbo thing. Was it available on Friday? I don't know when it became available. If it was available on Friday, I probably should have done it and posted one for the weekend, but I don't actually like the format, this turbo draft. It really is silly. It breaks rules in a way that's supposed to be haha entertaining, but is haha boring really quick. And it ends really quickly, so you don't get a lot of play out of it. It's like, oh, I lost the coin flip. I'm on the draw. Oh, look, I'm being attacked by a bunch of 5/5 haste. Oh, yeah, quote, better than Omniscience. I'd say it is better than Omniscience, but I didn't like Omniscience either. I am in for curated draft formats from the hands and minds of professional game designers and with limited balance and the mana system's inherent limitations at work, as opposed to just letting people dump their hands and see who comes out on top. It's just kind of silly. So is there a reason Sharknado costs 6 mana and not blue? It didn't. I played it this weekend. I had Sharknado and it cost blue. So I don't know what you mean, Jinx. I mean, you can't cycle it. The cycling costs weren't reduced, but if you hard cast it, it was blue for me. Anyway, if you want some blue stuff for your tabletop game, if you need a Sharknado to take down your next standard tournament or anything else you need for your tabletop Magic experience, you know where I'm heading, cardkingdom.com, and you're going to head there via my affiliate link in the panels down below, or the link that Hat has thrown up in chat, or the link in the YouTube video that you're watching right now, YouTube friend. All sorts of ways that you can support me via going to Card Kingdom via affiliate link and checking out their offerings. I don't expect anybody to be a purist with their retail Magic purchasing, but if you keep Card Kingdom on your list of potentials and give them a chance at your business at some point, they're going to deliver for you. And if you do it on my affiliate link, you deliver for me too. And then I get to keep streaming. Yay. Well, looks like by grinding gold over the weekend, I did get to 10K though. So we are going to jump in for a free best of 3 here. I like that. Let's see how long this takes to fire. A lot of options for players on the system right now, and this is not a great. I was like, I don't know how long this is going to be. This could be a while, and boom, happens right away. That's nice. Come on. Fill those seats. Maybe other people were there for a long time and, well, hey, we got the table ready right away. Not my fault that people can't click the button. Yeah, that's true, David. If you jump in and you already paid, although I'm never worried about that kind of thing because here, I'm going to reserve the rare for right now. David said it was pointed out to me that your resources are gone before it fires. So if it doesn't, you just have to keep trying. You can also, it's a pain. I know it still requires your time, but you can reach out to Wizards and say, hey, I joined this event and it's too slow and never fires. I'd like my money back, and they will give it to you. They totally will. What are we doing in this format? Oh, yeah, Red's good in this format. Chorister's good in this format. We've kind of been Naya aggro of late, as where I've been leaning. I think Subira is a fine place to start, especially given the lack of red in the pack here. I think red. I think this is just a fine card. Like, this is good enough. It's good enough given what's here and given the fact that it's the only red card. Conclave Mentor, though, is so strong it makes me want to grab it and see, although we could take Visionary or Scourge to say single color and then see about possibly red-green. Lots of looks like that's great. I love it. I love it when chat gives me the trio. I'm looking at Scourge, Mentor, and Visionary, and I've got Scourge, Go Mentor, Visionary. So got all sorts of directions. I'm going to take, I think Conclave Mentor and the white-green counters deck is so strong that I'm going to hedge. And I'm going to take Mentor and not marry it. But if we can end up there, I think this is so good, I want to give it a try. Didn't get there here. Maybe we take a Sky Scanner to continue to stay a little bit open here. Yeah, we're just looking to see if this is open. I'm not married to a Conclave Mentor. And after a lot of nice green last pack, it's somewhat medium here. Probably just Geyser. Geyser's not exciting removal, but it does match and helps cut red. And and this is a solid pick, so if we take the solid red pick and continue cutting the good red. Why Geyser? Because it matches one of our colors and is playable removal, and nothing else here makes me want to switch. Like if we had, let's say we had an amazing black rare, I'd be taking the Thallid. And this isn't amazing. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying if I had reasons to be black, then you could talk me into Thallid as like the second best pick here. But I really think Geyser is among the best picks in the pack, and it matched our rare, so that's why. Ghostlight is interesting here. Maybe we can find our way into red-blue spells. Not seeing the white I want to see to convince me that I should be heading towards the Mentor. And Warmonger, second Warmonger, but really it's just a 3/3 for 3 unless you're really doing something with it. And red-blue spells is a real deck. We've passed a Crash Through. We're passing another one. Maybe we will the Crash Throughs. That's a good question, Eric. Is this even better than Crash Through if we are red-blue spells? I don't have enough experience with the deck to answer that. I suppose if we 100% know, but I think we would rather start with a solid creature like this and then... but I hear what you're saying. Like at some point you just want a ton of the cycle 1-drops. Now we get a Grasp of Darkness pretty late in the pack. If we want to... now we did pass a couple of the red-black uncommons too that could come around. These Deathbloom Thallids are wheeling. So we could just take the Grasp. We could also take Thrill and continue to cut the red. I'm not thrilled with that, though. Cutting this at pick 5. Frost Breath is an interesting suggestion. But I think we need to continue drafting the hard way here and take just what is obviously the best card in the pack and listen to the table. And see, I'm not married to anything here. I'm just trying to understand what the table wants us to do. And now with a Silver Smote, we got a Setessan Training as really the only green card we've seen since we even looked at the Mentor. So probably not doing green, probably not doing Mentor, maybe taking Silver Smote and maybe even wheeling some of the, or maybe the Thallid. But I think we have to take, no, I don't really prioritize this unless I'm really doing the life gain thing. But no, that's my question, is Deathloom Thallid or Silver Smote Ghoul better? If we're in life gain, Silver Smote is much better. If we're not, we probably just want the Thallid. And we don't have any other white yet, so maybe we do just want the Thallid. They're very close, though. Rise Again... Jungle Hollow, but we're not really black-green. There's a Sanctum. Skeleton Archer, though. We do have Roaming Ghostlight. We could take Rise Again and backdoor into some sort of blue-black Reanimate. Hodge likes the Black Sanctum. I don't know if this really does what we want, though. People love the Black Sanctum. It may be the best one, but does that mean it's playable? Yeah, people saying it's the best Sanctum aren't really saying anything to me. But But I'll take it, and we can talk about it. The opportunity cost there was pretty low at the very least. Bloodfell Caves, Walking Corpse, maybe just well, we can take a Cauldron, and maybe we do end up in a Steel and Sack kind of situation. Yeah, Singer is here too. Weird draft so far. Let's take the Singer as the best card and continue to try and find the right lane. I don't know what the right lane is. I'm looking for it. Rousing Reed, pick 9. Someone was saying Rousing Reed, pick 1. So maybe this Rousing Reed here tells us something. Blackguard and Village Rites and Sure Strike are all playable within those colors, but Reed is pretty signally. So was the Singer, really. So let's take a Rousing Reed and see, but maybe we do end up in blue-black Reanimate here. Megalodon would play towards that better than anything we're seeing here. Ogre being like second best in the pack. Megalodon with a Rousing Reed is one way to win a Magic game. Here's these Crash Throughs coming back. We're not going to end up sanctuming our way through this, so let's take Crash Through. Here's another Crash Through or a Cliffs. I'm going to take the Crash Through just because the nature of how we're trying to stay open is going to leave us with fewer playables. So I do like the dual land, and maybe we could get into like some Grixis deck here with that type of pick, with a dual land pick, but I would like to figure out what 2 colors the table really wants us to be, and it's some, like, we can get rid of this Mentor. I just don't know which of the Grixis pairs are is our core. Of course, we get a green rare, because that's how that goes, but we do have an Enthralling Hold and an Immolator as the most obvious picks here. Shock is nice too. Yeah, neither of the Warmongers made it back. That's not exactly what we wanted to see there. I'm thinking Enthralling Hold. I feel like we're most, I can't figure out where we are at with black. On the one hand, we got this grass, but Sanctum wasn't a huge signal. This wasn't a huge signal. There was another good black card in the pack, but I think we are closest to being blue-red. And I'm going to take this hold, but I'm not sure it's better than the Immolator for a blue-red deck. Yeah, David wants the Immolator. I'm not sure it's correct. I'm addicted to control magics, I guess, but that might not have been correct. I can acknowledge that possibility. I think we just want Opt here, or we can try to get into the Frantics, or maybe we just take a Hobble Fiend and hope to wheel, or a Tide Skimmer even, maybe. We got a Ghostlight, we've got a Rousing Reed to make something, and a Singer. I guess we have enough flyers to take the Skimmer. I'm taking the Skimmer. We have time to do more to make it work, and we actually have a decent number of flyers already. Jeskai Elder here over any of this stuff. Bolthound Kinetic Augur is nice for this slot. We're a little low on actual, we gotta pick up on our spells though. Now the 2 Crash Through are looking great to have, by the way. And that Opt, I hope, wheels. Yeah, it is starting to look like control blue, blue-red. And I'm gonna take the Ghostlight number 2 over Capture Sphere. And I think you're right, we can cut the black. It's not as good, no, but I still think you play it. The prowess is scary. People don't want to block it. You thrill and then blow them out, you know. cancel here, but we also have a chance at an Arcanist, just a 2-drop creature. We don't. This is only our second 2-drop creature if we take it, and I want to get that short up a bit, so we're going to absolutely take the Arcanist here over Pitchburn or cancel. And now we've got Larcenist, Cur, Scanner, and Sphere. Lots of signs that we're at least in the right lane. But what do we want to do here? We got Scanner to help with the Tide Skimmer. Sphere as removal. I guess we take the removal, but I think we do have... Yeah, maybe we don't have quite enough. You know me, I do not like the Capture Sphere. It's not great, but you grudgingly play it. Another Ghost Light. Sure, we're going to pile on the Ghost Lights. Never let them keep anything on the board. All right. We found our lane. I was all set to take the Opt we wanted to wheel, or even the Frost Breath. Instead, we take the Shock. Shocking indeed. And we're only pack 2. This is coming together well. We're at 18 playables. After all that hedging, after all that hard way drafting, we've found our lane, and it's looking pretty good. Fiend here adds to our 2s, which is great. Really like that pickup, and really happy to pick up another one. Can make it maybe an argument for the Arsonist, but... because the Hobble Fiend, this is not the deck for it, to be honest. So maybe we could take the Arsonist instead here. But I guess we still want a 2, right? It's just not very exciting in our deck, but we'll still take it. This is at least an instant or sorcery. Wall of Runes, maybe. Cancel is all right. And the Cur last, like, we've really stuck to our lane, and it's paid off. Second Mentor, we have one in our board. Let's just take the second Mentor and move in. All right, we did find ourselves a 2-drop at the rare slot. There is this weird. This is where somewhat it comes down to curve considerations. How are we doing? This is not a 2. This can be a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 2s now. That's because we have 5 2s. I'm going to take the weird. We're not very spell heavy, Jinx, but you don't need too much for the weird to be good. I'll take the weird because our 2s are pretty solid here. Tutelage. I guess we could get there this way. You want the Shock over the Win Con? Interesting. Nobody wants the tutelage. You don't think this is we're not close enough to doing this? Feels like it still just wins games, doesn't it? For those of you on Read or Shock, why don't you want one of the most feared cards in the set? Oh, well, I took it. I was reading chat, sorry. Hey, here's a Wizardry. Traitorous Greed for the person who got the blue-black, or the red-black deck. Waker. Are we Wakering? Not really, but it's not bad in any deck. I mean, it just does the 2 thing. There is Singer, though. I'm going to take it. Yeah, it's a 2-drop. I'm taking this. Waker's too good. I want the Singer too, but heck, we wield those. We're going to get Singers all day. See? No problem. Pyreling, not as good as a Singer here. Another Wizardry. over any of that stuff. Kind of getting into mixed media here. Are we aggro or are we not? But I'm going to take that anyway. Take Augur number 2 over Singer number 12. Crash through here over another Megalodon. Really want to get our cheap cantrips on. Yeah, pretty late Brontodon, although I'd say that card is falling in my like before when it would show up 6th, I would be like, whoa, Brontodon 6th. Now I'm like, yeah, I can see how it would get there. Like, I still first pick it a lot sometimes, you know, but I'm just saying I can see how it... let's check curve here. Well, certainly don't need that. Let's at least... yeah, I don't think we're playing either of those, so it doesn't really matter. Wheel and shocks like it's nothing. That's what we do around here. Trader's Greed is interesting, but not really where we're at. Sure Strike, more interesting to me. Pireling, we'll consider it. It's a 1-3 for... Oh, probably just want more thrills here than another Hobble Fiend. Yeah. Well, this did get thrilling. 20 gems on the grind. Let me make a note of that. Boy, we got some cuts. I have no idea what to do. I need your help, chat. This is going to be tough. Which is a good thing. It means when you have a lot of cuts, you found your lane, right? All right. Cut red. Yeah, we're not really a Megadon. This is a 2. Let's look at our overall numbers. 18, 17. Cut Ogre, I like that. Yeah, I think we cut Cancel. We want to be more tempo proactive. Pireling. You can cut a Pireling. Do we cut Subira, our first pick that was just kind of like, well, not much going on in the pack? I kind of like still running Subira. Another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. You can make some goblin tokens unblockable, then go nuts on the crash throughs and just kind of win. So we're not going to cut her. Not cutting Waker. We can cut one Sure Strike for sure. Maybe one Hobble Fiend. Again, this is not the deck for Hobble Fiend. It does some work in any deck, because if they use enchantment removal, it does something about that. But we really want to cut our unwanted creatures here. I think with 2 Singers, Tide Skimmer, and Rousing Reed, is that enough to bother with a Tide Skimmer? We might want to cut the Skimmer. And here, let me get out of your way too a little bit. Yeah, I know about that trick. I like seeing my sideboard too, though, is the thing. I don't know. Didn't I already cut the shark? Or is there some other shark? Here's the shark. We have, quote, several flyers. I see 1, 2. Arousing Read is 3. And then the Ghost Lights. Let's see. 2 or more you have to attack with flyers, so it's not like playing this and attacking with the skimmer lets it happen. I don't know. Yeah, enthralling hold. I guess we're not bringing any of this in. We're working on cuts, so I will go to this mode. Hold is fine. We might not need to, I was thinking of cutting a Thrill Jinx. That's probably right. I want to keep all these crash throughs so we can let go of Thrill. And yeah, we could say this is not a tutelage deck. What visual mode? So there's this triangle here that takes you up and down like this. And then when you go full screen, you can do T for top. Like, what do you want to see on top? We could also do like instance, I bet. See, so we did top instance, and now we see what instance we have on top. But mostly what people want is separating out your creatures, right? We don't need 2 augurs, but I would cut a skimmer before an augur. I think augur is very good. Oh, type? Sure. I said top because that's where it puts it. I don't know. Both work. Put a type on top. Well, it is pretty OP. It's just not necessarily OP in this deck, but it also might be crazy to cut it. Maybe we're crazy to cut to cut that card. Arcanist isn't good here. It is casting Wizardry early, though. But that's about it. Besides that, I suppose it could be, like, maybe the other one's better. Definitely not cutting the whale. Yeah, we could bring back in this one or whatever, but really we need to find cuts anyway. Yeah, we could cut. Yeah, we gotta cut something. Really, red isn't to cut any more non-creatures given the point of the wizardry and stuff. You know, we can cut a land here for sure too with the crash throughs and a low top end. Lowish. 5 isn't really low, and we got an X spell, but that is legit. You want to cut a sphere. Trouble is, it still like triggers the wizardry and stuff. I want to work on the creatures. If you want to cut a ghost light, I'd rather just cut a skimmer. And hold is not great, but it is still good. I'm going to run it. We'll keep an eye on it. Not a deep threat is wondering if we should cut enthralling hold, given that it doesn't take away a blocker. And I think while you can identify how that makes enthralling hold a weaker card than its predecessors and everything, the potential of 2-for-1ing their best creature is still so powerful that I think you run it, even though you're right that it doesn't line up quite exactly the way we want things to. But yeah, we could, I don't like Capture Sphere anyway, so I'd rather run enthralling hold than Capture Sphere. And close now, close. I think we cut the Cur. And I'm dying trying to find the last cut here. There's been calls for Augur number 2 to go. Yeah, Subiria does make her unblockable, but she's also making the wizardry tokens unblockable, which I think is even more important. We could cut the final thrill, but again, I don't want to cut any more spells, I think. All right, I think I'll give in to the Ghostlight calls. But it's like, yeah, and I'm going to give in to the Skimmer. I think Skimmer is correct over cutting a third Ghostlight, although it'd be easy to play it and track it. I think we want 3 Ghostlights. I think this is good. Ghost. I want a ghost pun. We got 3 crashes and 3 ghosts. So, what's a crashing ghost? I like it. 2 people on the Poltergeist. We got it. You've answered the question correctly. What are crashing ghosts? Poltergeists. Love it. Yeah, they're roaming and crashing, but we're combining. See, we have 3 crash throughs and 3 ghost lights. Therefore, it's crashing ghosts. Get it? All right. Let's see. We got anybody on lands? Oh, there is a AMA that I'll get to, Haj, but your short answer is yes. I was the one who proposed 8-card packs, actually, as the better experience for newer players. Let's get rid of these lands, though, and find something pretty. I guess we got these double blues, but maybe we want... Are we 9-7 or 8-8? That's my other question here. 9-7 or 8-8? With 3 crash throughs and 2 shocks, there's a good argument for... Oh man, I was going to use this if I had the red one, but I don't. All right, I'm going to use these instead. And I'm going to leave this here, and I need a little bio break before we start anyway. So my final question to chat is 9-7 or 8-6, and I'm going to pull it while I step away for a moment. 97 or 88. Sorry, 97 or 88. Those are your choices, and I think you know what I mean. All right, looks like narrow vote for 8-8. I'm really not sure what's 100% correct, but I'll start on 8-8. That's fine. We get to this, update our record. Let's give it a poll. All right. Definitely want to be on the play here, but we can't keep this. There's nothing going on. Sure, deck. And back to this again. I gotcha. I understand where we're at, deck. You've made it quite clear. Thank you. Oh yeah, we're keeping this and ditching a mountain and an island, I guess. Although we do have all sorts of possible 2 red spell turns. Interesting interesting mulligan decision, actually, because obviously an island, right? We have double blue spells, but we have all of these single red spells. Like if we draw a crash through, for example, we're going to want to be able to crash through with shock up, right? So I'm going to keep it to 1 red since we don't actually have the double red to do, and there are significant double blue spells in the deck, but I don't love it. It's true, we do have a double blue in hand as well. It's just far off, right? Almost want to just dump our hand before that thing matters, but I'm going to use a shock on it. Although I could wait until they activate it and then just discard the shock, you know. Then we don't spend mana on it. But then they also... Yeah, do we care? I don't want them to trigger death triggers that they like. I'm just going to use it. It would be what we discarded to it anyway. They might. They might. Basically need land 2 turns in a row. Augur, we're going to play, and it's not going to do too much. Okay, Elder, do what you gotta here. Technically threatens to block this thing, and we'll give Oppo a draw and make the block if given the chance. Because, and it's just draw a card. If it put this back in the battlefield, it would actually draw a lot extra, but we're gonna trade for creature or trick. Well, not great, but at least Hobble Fiend is castable, and now even with another spell off the top, we at least get to Rousing Read onto Hobble Fiend if it lives. Yeah, it looked like they were just trying to get this going, it looks like, Haj, you know. I don't know if that was actually good for him, but... Hey, Magic. Thanks for the host. Hope whoever is at the controls at Wizards of the Coast is having a good week so far. Hello, and thank you. Oh, we are not having a good week so far. I can't believe Oppo took 12 years to make that play.
Archer.
What?
Archer?
What?
Archer.
What?
Archer.
What?
Archer!
Name dropper.
Game 1 not exactly going our way. Oppo with some cool synergies here. Now I get to sacrifice a stupid sap for a free card. Nice. So we're falling behind, but maybe we can get there. Here's finally a land. Do we even augur here, or are we just Rousing Read? I think we augur. But do we want to discard anything? Yeah, I think that's. I should have worked out my whole turn before playing a land at all. Hodge thinks I should read before doing anything, and certainly if I was going to play the read, that is absolutely correct, and I should work out my turn before making any moves, including playing a land. I do like Augur, no pitch here though. We could pitch Ghostlight, but we are. Let's see, what does Ghostlight do for us? That's a good question. Like, we don't really want to bounce either of these. I think that's correct. Let's play Augur pitching Ghostlight. It also just doesn't do much on this board. It, like, tries to trade with the Archer, basically. So how are we going to win? We just, I mean, at this point, like, we need to steal their best attacker as they try to get through. Like, maybe they kill the Augur, or if we can read to recover our mulligan a little bit and then hold to 2-for-1 them on one of their major creatures, that's really how we start turning this around. I am inclined to double block with Subira and try for a kill on the Archer. It may be just Standard Bearer, because, hey, they get to replace the Archer with whatever the Standard Bearer picks up. And is this under your control? So it doesn't count our dead creatures, but I'm thinking this is just that they're willing to do this to get in some extra damage and replace it with the Standard Bearer. So we're going to try this, hope this works. If they've got a trick and like 2-for-1 us, we're in big trouble, but then we were probably in a spot where we weren't going to have a good chance at winning the game anyway. So it wasn't really playing around, you know, a death touch trick or something that really would have made that awful, because we couldn't really beat anything that was going to make it awful. If we get a land here, probably just snap that Lurker and get our 2-for-1 done. Max, I still found it to be just coin flippy, but I'm glad you're liking it. Yeah, let's steal a creature here. They didn't show tricks last turn, so if this Augur is going to die to an attack from the Standard Bearer, it's because they drew it in the last couple of cards here. You should probably be playing 13, 14 type lands, minus, but then all of the... Well, we're a turn early on the Enthralling Hold, apparently, because we could have stolen a Standard Bearer with the Enthralling Hold. That would have been nice. Shocker off the top isn't even that great here. We're going to have to raise up. Ideally, we'd find something that could get to 7 toughness, but yeah, but Crystals and Farfinders are like Moxen, basically. Farfinder not as much, but the Crystals are just Mox. I don't know. Turbo Draft is a fake format Wizards made that's got some problems, in my opinion. Well, we could Rousing Reed and find another land and then be able to Singer as well. Maybe I need to just Wake her here first. I don't think we're casting this usefully in enough time. And we obviously need to block the Standard Bearer. So let's... or we could Rousing... Actually, hold on. I'm going to Rousing... And then if we find a land, it gives us 2. We can play a Singer as well. All right. Now we at least have blocks to threaten. Trouble is, demonic embrace on anything becomes another problem. It's a format about one drops. It's all about casting as many one drops as you can. That's why it was important to get 2 out so that we can still not be dead to just any single one removal spell. You know, I think we're doing okay, given that Oppo, that we mulliganed and had a tough time early. I guess Oppo maybe mulliganed too, but... the worst part here is the embrace that lets it beat the singer, unfortunately. So I'm gonna start on Waker looking for an answer. Goblin Wizardry, I guess, is going to be better for us than a land, at least. But we're chumping here. Well, I'm going to make him do it. And whatever, the whole showing him, like, what are we showing him? We're not, whatever. Showing people very, very rarely ever changes anything. Let's pretend we have a shock. It's interesting you would say that, A-Funk, as we sit here on 6 lands. Like, I mean, I think you are underrating the whale. All right, they found it. Feel like there's some cards to beat here. I don't really have any graveyard control in terms of getting rid of that embrace, but it does make me want the capture sphere to give us something else to stop an embraced creature with. Yeah, that's why I'm bringing capture sphere too, right? Hold plus sphere gives us 2 answers to the embrace. And on that front, we're bringing in the hold. Cut a creature or a crash through. I guess we don't cut the crash throughs. Maybe we cut an auger. Hodge wants a skimmer in because they are showing fly, but they're only flying with that one thing though, right? I mean, they have the Death Touch flyer, but really the only thing they showed us that flies is the embrace. Do you want the skimmer in for? Well, I can do this for a Ghost Light, I suppose. That was the one question. Well, because we don't have that many flyers, I don't know. We're not that, haven't been that successfully aggro so far. But we can make that swap. But more to the point, I'm trying to figure out what to take out for the capture sphere. And I think I'm gonna auger. Well, is Tutelage a good matchup here? It feeds their graveyard. And maybe it's wrong. This is a tough build. There's a lot of ways you could take our pile. This looks good, though. I'm going to save this crash through for the Elder Singer. Subira has haste, so we can even go turn 4, Subira crash through. And good play from Oppo. I thought we might get a free lick in with our Elder. We can attack. Maybe Oppo doesn't block. You want to go Subira now, but we can go Singer, and next turn Subira crash through, and Subira has haste. So why don't you like that line better, Haj? Let's go Elder and ask him the question here. See if they are willing to block. All right, they are. Yeah, we don't have to use Crash. We can also activate the unblock. We'll see. Crash might just effectively be unblockability, though, depending on what they play here. So, playing Subira has haste. We crash through, and these two get big. Still a trade here, though. Yeah, we don't want to trade any of these, so we're actually going to play Subira and activate. Double crash through. We'll save that for when they're both unblockable next turn. No, I like this a lot, because now let's say we don't draw anything. We go Island, unblockable, unblockable, crash through, crash through. Yeah, that's why I made Singer unblockable, because that blocks it. Yeah, we could have looted as well. I don't know. Crash through is a sorcery, so seems like a bad plan. Thrill to get rid. Well, first, let's see. Yeah, we gotta go unblockable. Unblockable. A lot of mana here. I'm not counting on any of this exactly working, but we'll make him have something here. I think we just double crash and say, well, now that we have a second island, we could consider the thrill play. But doesn't really matter whether we do it now or later. Actually, let's attack and see if they want to do. You know, let's attack with mana up at least. No stops, no pauses that I noticed. Well, now there's a pause, so maybe they just were quick on the fingers. Our deck is doing what we wanted it to this time. Pretty cool. That's fine. Maybe they're just figuring that we are unblockable anyway. But unless they play another blocker, this attack gives us a chance to just Ghostlight for free damage and not worry about our crash throughs next turn. Let's see what they come up with here as a follow-up, though. Fetid Imp. Fetid Imp that can't actually activate the Death Touch, so... Well, we could crash through and Skimmer here and still have pretty good attacks, and then I guess we can't do it all if we want to do the unblockability part. Well, the thing is, if I crash through before making Singer unblockable, I can't make Singer unblockable before. So we have to figure out not only if we're going to crash, if we're going to make anything unblockable before we crash. So we could just bounce the spinner, and then they have literally no good blocks. That seems like the thing to do, right? I think I'm overthinking it. I think Golem's right. You'd bounce the Thallid. I like bouncing the Singer. Clean attacks. We can send in the Elder. They've got an easy block on it, though, although I don't think I want to block with it myself. So I'm going to attack with the Elder just because, even though it's an easy block, I want to make him do it. Because I'm not blocking with it, so if I'm not blocking with it, I should make them block it, even though it's an easy block. Oppo trying to figure out how aggressive they can be here and still safely defend. They're deciding a Blackguard. We're going to say no blocks. So we did swap out Ghost Light number 3 for a Skimmer. So in our original deck, this would be another Ghost Light, just in terms of the, are we happy about it, you know? Something to consider. With 6 mana, we can actually cast everything in our hand in the immediate, but not do the unblockability stuff. So I'm going to start there. We're going to make our Singer unblockable. And then I'm going to crash. Oh yeah, we can make that one unblockable too, and then double. Well, we can actually do the first one, and Elder stays targetable. So I'm just going to start here. Yeah, let's maybe they'll do a grasp in response or something. Enthralling hold? No? Okay. There are pauses and stuff, but Oppo has a Fetid Imp, so we're not learning anything from the pauses about their hand. I'm gonna play this out, and yeah, no, that's fine. Let's see if we get the win. Leave Ghost Light back. If this doesn't work, I'd like to still have our Ghost Light. But it worked! Tutelage called out as how are we not playing this amazing card? Well, for one thing, this deck is using its graveyard as a resource, so there's that. Still might be correct. Tutelage good with the rare. Does it? It can be if we are getting the draw triggers, sure. Yeah, but A-Funk, it's not going to play that way every single time. The beauty of this card is that if we are in an aggro situation where 7 mana is ridiculous and doesn't matter, we are still likely to find a spot to spend the 2 mana to cycle it and replace itself. And then in the games where we do make it to 7 and this comes down and plays a role, I think it is correct to keep it in. Yeah, we could take out the Hobble Fiend. It's just getting tagged by archers. We put in the Cur instead. A little more archer safe. I like that. I mean, you got a good point, Funk. It's just that not every game is going to play out that way, right? So I think because it has this low end, if all this was a 7-drop that did that thing, you would be 100% correct. But I think the 2-drop side of it makes it runnable. But that's the thing, Fluffy. If all it were 2-drop, a 2-drop that acted like an instant or sorcery and wasn't even an instant or sorcery, doesn't trigger wizardries or anything like that, I would cut it. In this case, I can't quite pass the double wizardry. We can crash through if we have to. I don't love the opener here, but with the crash through and the wizardries on 4, I'm going to keep. And we are going to crash through right now, though. Shock is good. That should help us survive to 4. But we really do need lands, deck. Lands would be lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lands, lands, lands. Unfortunately, not going to be able to shock that because assuming Oppo puts the counter on it, it's too big. Ugh, well, now we really need crash through in another land here, or... No, that's not what it says. Oh, I could have... Oh, I did have a moment. Sorry, you're right. My bad. On another shock. Yucky. So now we're going to discard Geyser. I was thinking it entered with. Sorry, gang. In my head, my rules knowledge was operating correctly on that card. As if it was going to matter. Looks like the gods are like, don't worry, Ryan. Here, we'll make it so that you realize that there was no chance anyway. I mean, I don't even care if they save it. Okay, that's decent. But no kidding, we'd be in... if this board were empty and we were down a shock, we'd actually be okay. I mean, y'all can punt, yeah. Like, D's not here, you better step up for him. I mean, that was a legit punt. And it's, like, really costing us here. Well, as if summoned from the ether. As if summoned from the ether itself. Well, the punt was legit, but I had no hope in this game at all, it turned out. Oh, man. I was tilting so hard at this game over the weekend. I have been treated so badly by the shuffler in the last 72 hours that it's amazing my computer's still around, and it seems to be continuing. This is why traditional sucks, Zephyr? What is that? I don't follow the logic, but go ahead. Please explain how general mana issues mean best of 3 sucks. You think that the smoother is so good that it like makes best of 3 unplayable somehow? Ah, you can't get to 3 wins and it's too depressing. I see. Once you've lost, you feel like you have nothing to play for. Well, I wish they I mean, we still have something to play for though. Yeah, at least we got a chance to fade that first. You know, we had terrible luck in game 1, mulled to 5 and lost. Absolutely crushed in game 2, and then unfortunately had terrible luck in game 3, compounded by a punt, but the punt turned out not to matter. I mean, I suppose maybe if I hadn't punted, we would have held on. We had a couple of turns to stabilize, so maybe if I didn't punt, we'd still be playing right now. I don't think so. That was pretty rough mana screw to come back from. I'm going to keep this because even if we draw more mountains, we can augur them away, and we have a Hobble Fiend on 2. So any land, you know, even if we draw nothing but blue spells we can't cast, we can augur them away instead. So the augur is what makes me want to keep this. This is a very red hand. Well, now we're going to pitch at least 1 mountain to this augur. Oh yeah, we definitely want to augur lands, but I'm saying if we had 4 mountains, if we drew nothing but blue spells, if we went Ghostlight, Whale, or whatever, we would absolutely get rid of them with the augur, right? And that's nice. Both the freebooter whiffed, and we have 3-drop we can play now. I'm not interested in offering Hobble Fiend for freebooter, though. Oh, I should have attacked. Sorry, you can punt that too if you want. I forgot Subira had haste and just kind of rushed through. Oppo should be at 18. We'll see if that matters. I forgot she had haste. Legit punt situation. So now we can crash through or... See, I think we augur away the Ghostlight in the mountain. We just don't have any blue yet. But do I want to attack first? I think with the open mana, I'd be willing to trade Hobble Fiend for the Visionary. But do you want to augur now, or I mean, we just crash through now, but they're not going to block the Subira anyway. What about? I'm going to augur now because if we find another land, I'll at least make the Hobble Fiend unblockable. How about that? Well, crash through draws a card, but. Yeah, we're gonna... Well, I think we ditch the Ghostlight. We don't have any blue. Like... I was hoping we would draw another land on the augur. We just didn't. Next turn we get Crash Through and Shock, which will at least turn the Augur into a real creature. You got a lot of mana here, a lot of cards, but let's start with a Shock on the Visionary and see what happens. Well, I'm gonna Crash Through anyway. Kind of like activating Subira's tap ability here. Huh, why did they feel the need to do that in response, I wonder? Discard hand. Maybe going a little too far here. But we can make unblockability. Why don't I just make these unblockable, at least? And get those in that way. If we draw like a mountain next turn, we can consider Geyser, Standard Bearer, and then activate Subira. Ditches are, especially depending on what we draw. Especially if we draw a land, we play the land, Geyser the one toughness creature, and then ditch our two other creatures to try and draw out to something else. Lurk are probably going to sack the Freebooter. Or maybe pitch something they don't like in their hand. Yeah. Yeah, this is not a race I love, but I'm not going to block here. Okay, so now we have the possibility of geysering the Bearer and doing the Subira. We can... we could Geyser the Bearer and just get through unblockable here. You want to play the Elder? I've kind of started my line here. I'm going to follow my line. Now, if we find an island, we ghost light our way into a commanding race situation. But no. We can, however, play the Elder, play the Mountain, make unblockable, activate, and draw that way. I'm going to do that. Well, but it's a... Isn't it discard your whole hand? We just have to discard our hand, so I don't see why I would hold that. Now we sit to see if we connect. Now if they reach out and remove the Hobble Fiend, that's pretty good from Oppo. Just so. Yeah, forced him to use it. That was, I mean, I'd rather them not have the Dragonfire and we connect, but it's not the worst. Cardinator calls it a blowout. We got rid of a card we couldn't cast anyway to force them to use a removal spell on what amounts to our weakest creature, and now we get to do the same thing on the Elder next turn, and it should be fine. They're getting aggro back. I'm gonna worry about the possible. You say no block. We could end up taking. I mean, it seems like a sure strike. We could try to get the sure strike out of their hand. But yeah, I guess if we just have a shock on the crackback, there, there's a lot of ways they're dead, so we should just take it and hope. Well, what pump is going to kill us? We're taking 6. What is going to do 7 more? I suppose they could have sure strike and +4/+4. I think I'm going to make them have that, and if they beat us with sure strike and Titanic growth here, we'll take that knowledge into game 2. Waker not doing it for us here. I'm going to use it to go hunting. Spellgorger gives us across the board blocks. We can still send in the Elder, although that doesn't really do much. Keep the Spellgorger and at least play it. And now we have block on Ogre, block on Warmonger. Chumps if needed. Oh well. Four mana draw 2, but only if I'm willing to go shields, to go tap my creatures against this wall of threats that Oppo is deploying. All right. They are asking us some questions. We got to come up with some answers. And unfortunately, I think it's this, and it's this, and this over here. This takes out their Warmonger, trades for the Ogre, takes us to 1, but leaves us with one of these 2 creatures available along with the Elder to threaten blocking one of these. Anyway, this is all I can see that we can do. Yeah, this is all we got. Probably dead. What would you do? I mean, we have to... I felt we had to try and come up with a double block here that leaves us with 1 creature, and we have to trade with the Ogre. I didn't see much else. I mean, it didn't matter. I'm just talking as though they didn't have Sure Strike. I didn't see what your better block was. No, that was lethal. They had trample. That was plenty lethal. So, heavy green. I don't want to... Please don't let me lose to a even colored Jund deck. What is going on here? Dragonfire's good. Liliana's Standard Bearer is okay. Visionary's better than the Standard Bearer. A lot of weak cards here we're losing to right now, I'll tell you that. What are we going to do about it? Don't feel like we're tutelaging here. We're just running this back. Yeah. Yeah, not getting my second island crippled me against the person playing 3 even colors and getting 2 of each on board. Sure. Sure. Yeah, do we need an ogre out? Get a little bit cheaper, like get rid of an augur at 4 toughness was quite nice, I gotta say. Like maybe this skimmer doesn't do a good enough blocking job in this deck. I like having the ogre in to have 4 power a little earlier. That's a good call, but I'm going to run it back otherwise. Maybe take out the whale for something more guaranteed, but they weren't even that aggro. I just feel like we failed to execute our own strategy. Something's got to give, man. Something's got to give, that's why. Well, another weird spot, but I'm going to keep. We have all this rummaging that can unlock our hand. No, I'm going to crash through now. We have too much we need to get cute with a crash through for later. Looks like we have at least one. Hey Weirdo, how you doing? Thanks for watching. Well, I co-created the Limited Resources podcast with Marshall Sutcliffe in 2009. Maybe you've heard of that one. And then I went to work for Wizards of the Coast. Left the show to work at Wizards for 7 years, where I spent 5 years on Magic Online, and then another couple years working on this very game right here. I was a designer on... Huh, interesting. They want to trade the Sure Strike? All right, I'm in. And I left Wizards in, what, 2018? And started streaming after that. So here I am. Thanks for joining us. I try to bring my longtime Limited perspective, but also some game designer inside sausage making stuff, too, that people like to hear about. So, Augur gets to pitch some stuff. I think we probably just Augur away the Thrill and a land, right? Keep the Geyser? But we can attack first. All right, no more land for Oppo. They gave that one up. Oh, sorry, weirdo. Well, you sounded like someone who was stumbling on this stream and had no idea who I was. You get a backstory instead. And I assume now you've gotten information on the lunchboxes as well. Just running this back then. Right, D? Yeah. Suck it, mana base, Devil's mana base, Oppo. Not trying to be mean to Oppo, but when I see someone looking to be running an even 6/6/6 style mana base, it does make me want to beat him. We're going to keep this. I'm going to run out one crash through at least, but then maybe we'll hold the other one for the Singer. I'm not sure, but this is certainly an easy keep. Designer in terms of all of the above, Toto asks. Designers in UX, UI, or is in Magic Cards design? More systems design. I'm not a graphic designer. I did UX work as long as... I've done UX design and user interface design, but only in working with an actual artist. You know, working with someone who can graphically design interfaces. Now, I think I'm going to hold this crash through. We have a nice sequence. You know, we have 4 lands. We don't have our second mountain yet, but I don't think we need to run out of crash through here. I am also out of coffee. I'm gonna move my cup so I stop sipping in an empty cup like a madman. Oh man, that reminds me, Hat. Hat's referring to my daughter who goes by Katoon on Twitch. She's been evicted. Well, that sounds like she's been kicked out for cause or something. The place she is staying in, they are deciding not to rent it any further, so she's got to figure out where to go next. It was always just a very temporary thing that they were exploring anyway, so it's not a huge surprise, but it's a little bit of a bummer. So I'm going to go, well, we are choked on red, so on the one hand I want to cast red spells when possible, but on the other hand, Subira has haste, so I like to play her after the Singer. I'm gonna play Singer. But yeah, no, it's not great. Like, we're scrambling. It was a pretty sweet deal. Sweet deal on... It was a low rent option in Seattle, but it was always temporary, and now it has come to an end, unfortunately. I'm not sure what you mean. Can you explain what you mean by shadow draft? So, Subira or Crash Through? We don't really have both. Phantom Draft, sure. Sounds like you want something for less money than Wizards wants to give it to you, though. Yeah, Subira can't attack anyway. Let's look for another mountain. I like it. Hey, and there's another mountain. Great. So we do that. We can get Subira down. Send the Singer... Oops, forgot there's the haste again, this time against us. Well, one thing people misunderstand is how much the cards are worth. There's a like, let me ask you this. Who asked the question? Roz. Like, drafting without keeping the cards. Okay, so let's say, what would you assume? Assuming that Wizards just wanted to make like the same profit, how much less would you charge? Let's do it in gems. So a premier draft is 1,500 in gems. How much would you lower the price tag just to make it Phantom? How much fewer? How much would you shave off? How many gems would you cut from the $1,500 price tag if you made them Phantom? If you were in like, just because you're thinking, okay, we can save them some money because we're making this Phantom. How much do you discount it? Assuming prize support is all the same. Well, Singer was a bad attack if we were intending to block. Did you think we were supposed to block there? I didn't necessarily think we were going to block. I thought we were going into Ghostlight. D would cut 1,000. So, like, like what percentage discount? Here, this is a percentage. What percent off would you make your queue? What percent off? That's a way to look at it too. How much would you discount it? I'm going to go Ghostlight, bounce the Warmonger here, get that counter off of it, I think. And I like Ghostlight for the Avenger now, and I'm going to send just the Singer, and we can keep Subira for the Pride Malkin as well. We're at 9. I want to get some damage in, but we have to protect our life total. Yeah, prizes are still the same. Prizes are still the same. This is just how much you're discounting it because people aren't keeping their cards. Three people said 40%, 2 said 20%, couple said 50%, couple said 60%. Only one person made the correct, what I think is about the correct guess, which is about 10%. From an economics standpoint, from a managing your economy in your free-to-play game standpoint, the digital cards people are keeping from draft are nothing. They are really actually not as important as you think. And they really don't reduce the cost of the draft that much. And that's one reason they don't really do it, is because the public perception is, if they don't give the cards away, well, they should cut the price 40%, 50%, 60%. That's what you should do if you're not giving the cards away, right? But that's not how the math works out. So they don't want to do it because you set up an expectation where the world thinks you should discount it 50+%. But the reality is you can only discount it a tiny bit, and that means you're not getting, you're selling something that's going to disappoint people. So anyway, back to this situation. Obviously, like, what is this block about, or what is this attack about? On the one hand, they didn't send the Avenger, so if it were sure, but maybe they need that for the Sure Strike. Yeah, I get that it's Sure Strike, but I'm wondering, I'm gonna just let them use it. I want to get it out of their hand, or not. Maybe it's what? Shock? Maybe it's Shock. Maybe they want to combine Shock with that to take out our rare or something. I don't know. Bluff called, we win, I guess. Now I like killing this Avenger while we can. Wow, shame scoop? I'll take the shame scoop. Apparently you call one person's bluff and they're like, I'm out! I'll take it. I'll take it. No kidding. I'll take a W. I don't care how we got it. My record's not right anyway. We are now 1-1. Yeah, David also points out that it also doesn't parse for people because partly it's about the cost at the store. So that's a great point. David says the tough part is that packs are overcosted at the store at 200 gems. Logically, if I bring my own 3 packs, I should get a 600 gem discount on the draft, right? But again, that's not how that works. That's just not how it works. No, yeah. In MTGO, you bring your own packs, Frieder, but that was widely regarded as one of the biggest design mistakes on the Magic Online economy that was made out of the gate, and then kind of has stuck with Magic Online ever since. And that is that that prize support is entry. That boosters as entry fee is bad for digital Magic. Boosters as entry fee does a couple of things you don't like as a manager of the game. First, it allows people more easily to go infinite because they can take what they won and flip it around into entry. But mainly, the number one thing that it did that was the mistake for Magic Online is, I don't know if those of you played forever on Magic Online, but let's say, for those of you who played on Magic Online heavily, if you had a friend who was about to join and play Magic Online, what's one of the first things you tell them? And because they're coming there to play limited, they want to draft. They're coming to Magic Online, they want to draft. What do you tell them? Never open boosters. Don't open boosters. You're dumb if you open boosters. Don't open packs. Don't open them. Can you believe that? You're Wizards of the Coast, and you've made a product that tells everybody to scream at each other not to open your product. Don't open those boosters. Never open them. Right? It makes all this confusing stuff and confusing motivations, whereas you just want to be able to say cleanly, what do you do with boosters in this digital Magic product? You open them. That's what you do. They have Magic cards in them. We love those. Open the boosters, right? So that was actually one of the big mistakes of Magic Online, is creating an economy that encouraged players to not open their Magic boosters. Okay, we're going to keep this despite the lack of 2s. It just has too much going on with it. It's a nice hand. It just doesn't have a 2. Well, not a 2, and we could absolutely use the crash through for like wizardry token pumping and singer pumping. Do you guys like crash through here, or do you think we wait and save it for triggers? I think given that we don't have our 4th land, we could argue to play it, but we do have a nice curve out coming. If we had a 4th land, it'd be a no-brainer for me. Why was that advice to not open them? Because Dionysus, your entry fee, like Dionysus, I don't know if you've ever played Magic Online, but your entry fee for a draft to translate to arena speak would be like, you can either enter for 1,500 gems or for 500 gems and 3 booster packs, right? So once you've created booster packs as an entry fee, you want to tell people not to open them so they have it as a currency to enter, because it's worth more as an entry fee currency than the value of the cards inside is. Than the value of the cards inside. So that's why. I'm going to go Singer here, though. Bronte pretty big. Let's see how Pasta follows up here with some more bigness. Can we do a crazy wizardry turn? We can get somewhat crazy, but not crazy. We could play wizardry now to pump the Singer, get in for 3. I don't know if they're going to release Arena on mobile. This is not a very satisfying mobile experience. I know a lot of people have been complaining about that, but I don't know. Magic on a phone is effing miserable. I don't know. I think so. But I think you're somewhat of an exception, Wizard. I guess that's what I say. I don't know. I think that's their mindset, though. All right, let's figure out what to do here. We're also at 0. I'm just gonna do my line. I had to make a decision, folks. I had 0 hourglasses and talking my way through here, so just had to do something. You can't mull or scry, so you don't draft on mobile, but other than that, you like it. I can't mulligan or scry, but other than that, mobile Magic is great. That sounds very funny to me. Well, we are getting ranched here. Quite a curve out from Oppo. They didn't even find a 5th land, and they didn't even play a 2. It's just 3, 4, 4, and the 4s are really rough for us. What can we do about it? Can we crash through Thrill? Maybe we can crash through. And gosh, are we just dead? Are we just gonna die? I don't want to die. How do we not lose this? Read a Goblin and crash. The trouble is we're just dying on the backswing unless we can do sick amounts of damage next turn. I guess that's where it starts, though. Let's read. You want the Augur out? I mean, the Augur can block the Bronte, I suppose. Maybe we do that. Let's go Augur and pitch some stuff. I don't think this Skimmer is going to matter. I can't wait. I got 0 hourglasses. I'm doing a lot of chatty chat today, so... next turn we can go crazy if we can survive. I'm going to do that. See what they want to do. Been enjoying chatting with you all today. It's not exactly helping my gameplay, but I do love streaming and chatting. Blocking here, they can't do another +2/+2. Hodge says we're dead. Do you think we should chump here? I mean, I don't know what you think we're dead to. Yeah, we're dead to a billion things, but I think, though, if we chump, we can't win. Like, let's say we chump. Okay, let's say we chump. We have Augur and one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a baseline. Thrill becomes 5, 6, 7. Crash becomes 8, 9, 10. Rousing Reed becomes 11, 12, 13. We can't win if... I'm going to let it go because we can't win unless we have both of our wizards. And now, did we get lucky enough? I still don't think so, but maybe with the trample, maybe. Let's start with a crash through. Shock. Does that get us there? Read and shock. Read on the Augur, or no, one of the wizards, right? Discard Thrill and probably Hobble Fiend, or if we find another... Ooh, do we discard Thrill and Wizardry? Oh, no, never mind. It was only one or the other. It was not Augur. And then now Shock is probably enough. Certainly we attack with the Trample. We don't need to cast the Shock now. We can let them make their block responses first. It doesn't matter because both of our creatures on the ground are 3-power tramplers. Although I suppose this gets even bigger. So we would like them to block that. Yeah, actually that's where we want the block. Doesn't really matter though, I don't think. When it's all trample, it doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. They both trample, so it really doesn't matter. They both get bigger, but this one gets a little extra bigger because we actually cast the spell and trigger it. No, they get the same bigger. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. So we go face. It, again, doesn't matter. We're just trying to pile on the damage and see. Yeah, Rookie Mistake could get us, which would be hilarious, but... They're pausing. Maybe that's enough. I don't know, let's see. Math is for blockers. We got there. Green, blue, draw 2 big stuff. Yeah, we just kind of did what we had to do there. But I'm glad we figured out, I did the math to figure out we can't win if we block, right? We can't win if we chump here. So if they've got the pump, tip the cap because we couldn't beat them anyway. And then they didn't, and we won. Capture Sphere seems okay. Sure Strike, yeah. A lot of big stuff on the ground. Didn't see instant speed interaction either. So I do like the idea of Sure Strike. Could even cut like a Crash Through for it. Crash Through is pretty good for us, but we already had 1 Sure Strike. Maybe we don't want 2. Yeah, Skimmer seems bad. Hold seems good, because if they're going to be attacking us with big green stuff, we can get one of them. That's true, but Hold... Then Brontodon is a 4-mana Naturalize in that case. Let's make him have that. Yeah, let's just bring in a Ghostlight back. Capture Sphere, though, we could try and overload the Naturalize effects too with a Capture Sphere. Maybe that over a Crash Through. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, we could also cut the Waker at this point. If we're not gonna do the 7, I'd rather have the extra lubrication here down at the low end. I don't think Hold is too slow. I think it's a good argument that Waker is, though. Hold is perfect against if we're getting aggroed, I disagree that Act better than Hold. Geyser is clunky, but it's still not something we'd cut. And I'm going to keep this as well. Nothing quite early, but we get to Crash Through, and we have a Geyser for a 1 on 3 if need be. Hard to throw back this mana, really, and getting something going. Thrill is nice. We go Crash into Thrill, and we should set ourselves up to have something to do on 3 with this. Or Or maybe we shock something next turn. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably shockable. Give us now what we can do on 3 is thrill. And I'm going to shock while the shields are down here. Shock for visionary. And maybe I should have. Against blue and green, though, I went shields. I did it while shields were down. Between counter magic and pump. All right. Now, what do we like to thrill? Probably just the mountain. And I'm going to do it while their shield's down. Don't want to get this thrill countered. That would stink. Yeah, Oppo missed a land drop. We want to pressure that, but right now we can't. So we got to get to our roaming ghost light, and then we will. Wizardry helps. Oppo found land number 3 and has found a Coatl. We could geyser that while the geysering is good. We can also just ghost light it or capture it. Yeah, I suppose given that they do have natural eyes effects, we should kill it while we can. We don't want to capture Spirit and have them Brontodon it away. So there you go. Clunky, but it still does enough that you play it, right? Volcanic Geyser would have been so appealing in any early format limited, and now it's just like a little clunky. Little clunky. I'm going to leave up Wizardry, although against blue, I'm inclined to just play it. We could also play the Weird, and then the Weird starts to grow with all this other stuff we've got going. Maybe we should go Weird first. Yeah, I like that now. A couple of Ghost Lights waiting in the wings here. Oh, yeah, it's not technically the right meme, but you guys get it anyway here. Well, pitched a land, and it's coming back to haunt us a bit now. I figured we'd find a 5th land before now, but we are not. We can go Elder, Hobblefiend, or just hold up the Wizardry. Wizardry at instant speed is going to get the Weird pumped anyway, and they've got cancel mana up, so there's no sense in like playing something main phase to avoid it. We could go Elder Hobblefiend just to spell it while they might have counter magic. And that's not the worst idea either, because Elder also benefits from non-creature spells being cast, and it puts out... Yeah, I think I'm actually going to play the... I'm going to 2-spell it. Also, getting on board with creatures ahead of Ghost Lights is not bad either. Nothing to be learned from the pauses, because Glide Master has the 3 mana to pump something, make fly. No attacks. Got a pretty decent board here. I like our board and our hand versus their board and their unknowns, but who knows? Maybe their unknowns are good enough to make me regret that. But right now, I am feeling like we are advantaged in this game. Dreadmaw, pretty good, of course. We do have a capture sphere for that. I would have liked a land to just ghostlight it for a while. Be nice to ghostlight, then capture. As it is, we will capture, and do we offer the Weird? That's one question. But no, I'm going to just capture Sphere and not offer the Weird. And we could offer the Elder. Would we trade Elder for Glide Master? I think I would do that. Big flying green stuff could be annoying for us, and the Elder is only doing so much here. I'm going to make this offer. Well, if they block with Spider, it bounces, but if they go for the trade, this is a trade I'm willing to make, so I'm fine with taking this. Land us, please. All right. So now with the land, we don't have Hobble Fiend attacks, but we can bounce the Oak and get in with the Weird, and then just bounce, 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 and then start to get on our Goblin train. Right now, the Goblins aren't getting pumped by anything, so it's not like we're making these tutus yet. Snare Spinner is a bit annoying with our double Ghost Light since it threatens to block and eat, or block and trade with one of the Ghost Lights for only 2 mana. Can also consider bouncing the Spinner just to get in with the Ghost Light instead of worrying about the Oak. But let's see where we end up with the draw. More land. Can't do anything with it. I guess we can we could send in a Hobble Fiend that could suddenly become a 4/3 with a Wizardry and Sacrificing. That probably is a fancy play, though, and we should just Ghost Light. Or we could even Wizardry and set up for Subira with a lot of unblockables. Maybe that's after Ghost Light, though. And let's go Ghost Light on the Spinner. You don't like bouncing Spinner. That's true. Do you want to offer the Ghost Light for the Spinner then? I mean, if we bounce the Oak, we can't send the Ghost Light unless we're offering a trade. But maybe that's fine. Maybe one Ghost Light for one Spinner is okay in this spot. It does give us another clean attack with the Weird, which I really like. Yep. That was an option. I think we have that. That's our play for next turn, though, Hodge. I like that one. That's good. This is a good spot. And I'm going to play the land here. I guess this, yeah, because if we ever activate Subira, we want to have dumped our hand anyway. And also, it does give us an activation on Hobble Fiend. If they go to remove Ghost Light or Weird, we at least get a 3/2 out of it. Hey, Hannah, welcome. Glad you're here. Good time zone to you. Yep. Unblockable and then pump them up. Also works with the Hobble Fiend. That seems good for us. Feels like they're getting some cards out of it. They get a blocker for the Ghost Light, but they're spinning their wheels a bit, and it doesn't stop Subira plus Goblin Wizardry plus Hobble Fiend being unblockable. Very interesting. I would think they would want that back to block the ghost light, but okay. Yeah, it also is an interesting discard, but maybe they think we're going to get our weird big enough that this isn't going to be a good blocker anymore. And yeah, the snare spinner is just better for them. Double bear over single 4-drop, another possibility. These don't have haste, so we don't need to do that, but we can do it to trigger the weird. I'm gonna play the land. I love Nature So's Fresh. That's awesome. Let's see. Let's go here. More pauses. This harder to explain. Nothing on board they have supports a pause, so something's going on here. If it was Lofty Denial, they could have done it and successfully countered this, so that would be a surprise. I think we play this, and I think we send in the weird, leave the ghost light, and we'll see if they want to do anything about the weird. And we do have the Goblin Wizardry to pump the weird, and if they use a card in their hand to take care of the weird anyway, I really like what we've got left anyway. So you want to send the Hobble Fiend. What are we sacking if they block though? We could do that. Hodge says send all but Ghostlight and make them unblockable. It just means that we don't have Wizardry tokens for next turn. And that's... maybe that's fine. But yeah, we don't have mana to sack. I'm going to go with my line here, which is just the weird and leave up Wizardry. And if they've got a denial, it's going to deny the Wizardry no matter what. So I'm going to go for the extra damage with the weird here. I don't want to trade this Ghostlight for the Spider yet. We have draws that could nullify the Spider and make Ghostlight a really important air threat. But really, 1, 2, 3 creatures are unblockable. If we find any sort of prowess trigger for the wizards, we get in for 6. If we sack stuff to the Hobble Fiend, we could make it 7, 8, 9. I mean, we're close to... No, we did not have... people keep talking about eating. Like, Hobble Fiend has a mana requirement, and we tapped out to make the wizards. So anybody looking to make wizards and activate Hobble Fiend is not counting well. But this is neither a reading stream or a counting stream, so nobody here's judging you. We're all trying to make the best way forward we can. That's pretty annoying, gotta say. But Sure Strike still... I'm gonna... Sure Strike should get the spinner. Yeah, the weird and the Ghostlight have good attacks, but not both. If they... I guess we can just make the Ghostlight unblockable. So let's do that. And we need defenders, but I like sending in weird and leaving and Ghostlight and leaving everything else back now. You want to send Fiend too? If we send Fiend... Yeah, I guess we can send Fiend, except... it's a lot of... Yeah, we can threaten lethal, I suppose, if we send the Fiend as well. All right, let's do this then. Do we, well, wait, do we make the Fiend unblockable? And then, do we send everything then? Let's see. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Yeah, so we don't need those. Okay, let's send these. And then unblockable here. And unblockable here. And unblockable here. Also, Waker dying to first strike might make everything else just where we want it. Boom! Grow, my friends, grow. Oh, I missed lethal. Shoot. I still think we got it, but I missed lethal there. That was me doing math is for blockers, right? Didn't cost us, but that was not great. All right, well, this was a great deck with a medium pilot and terrible luck, right? Yeah, it's not been a great day for me on the punt front, but I'm glad we got to 2 wins with this. The punts I've been making were not really what caused us to lose the first match. I think one of my punts might have extended one of our match loss games, but we were in a pretty bad shape. So I feel like the power of this deck overcame my questionable play and questionable luck for 2 wins. We'll take it. Well, you don't watch me because I'm a pro level player, right? Just proving that for you today. But we scrap. We try not to let our mistakes distract us from still finding the line to win, and it worked. So there you go. If I'd slowed down a little there, I would have at least found lethal on that last turn. Do I think Tide Skimmer was better than third Ghostlight? It really depended on the matchup. But you saw how useful those Ghostlights were, right? And I don't know. I think I liked the third Ghostlight in the end over the Skimmer. But you can ask chat. Maybe chat has some opinions on that. Squirp is building an app. I like my first pick. I'm not sure what this is. One thing you can do to improve your app is give it a splash screen that tells me what's about to happen. Give me a little handhold on what's going on. Good segue, Hannah. I'll take it. I may not be a pro player, but if you're trying to become one, check out my sponsor, Card Kingdom, for all of your singles. me want to do a turbo draft. Have I listened to Lords of Limited? Any thoughts? I've listened to them a couple of times. I don't, but I only have so much room for podcasts in my life, and of course, LR is always going to take that top spot for limited Magic content, so they often just don't make my listening cut because of time. I like listening to Luis and Marshall better. I'll say that. I don't know. I don't like giving reviews of other people's content. Find the stuff you love and enjoy it, people. Yes, I can do admin hat. I haven't. Yeah, I'm kind of lollygagging here, having not even said goodbye to YouTube friends. So let's start there. Sorry, YouTube, for leaving you hanging. I don't know if we're going to do anything else here today, even, but thanks for hanging out for that one. I liked the deck a lot. I wish I had been a little tighter on my play, but magic is magic, life is life, and my brain is what it is. We do what we can. We got a couple wins out of it. It was fun. See ya.